Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Thank you so much for joining me here today for this Sims 4 speed building video. We are in San Sequoia, no it's not Sam, it's San Sequoia, Rachel. We're building on a 50 by 40 lot near the water, and we're actually building some houses that are kind of like, they call them painted ladies, and these houses are actually set, I believe, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, in primarily San Francisco. I've been wanting to build these houses for quite some time now. These have been on my build list for a little bit of time there. So I was like, okay, let's get these built. Let's get these up on the channel. And I'm going to be really honest, I had the best time building these. So I'm really hoping that you and your Sims have an amazing time in them. We have a total of 5 houses here on this one lot, and each house has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We've got a living room, nice big open kitchen dining rooms, we've got back garden spaces, you name it, it has it. So this is going to be a really fun residential rental space for you and your Sims to play in, and yeah, I really hope you enjoy them. I'll pop a reference image while I'm thinking about it on the screen for you now so that you can see where my inspiration came from. Now, this reference image actually came from Pinterest. I found this while I was browsing. Like I said, I've had this pinned on one of my boards for quite some time now. So I was really excited and really keen to just get this idea out of my head and actually into the game itself. And I was really pleased with it. I really was. I think the 50 by 40 lot size works quite well with this particular idea. You know, I didn't want to build on a huge lot. If you noticed on the reference image, actually most of these houses are kind of sat on a, I love this so much by the way, they're sat on a road that's sort of on a quite a steep incline, and I was going to try and replicate it, and truth be told, I actually attempted this off camera. It didn't work out too well, which is why I ended up just building it on a flat lot too. I'm hoping that maybe one day I can perhaps attempt it again. It's certainly more of a skill issue on my end than it is with anything else, but I also wanted it to look somewhat realistic too. So I wanted the houses to be set quite far forward in front of the pavement here, and yeah, I wouldn't really have been able to do that if I'd have sort of done some terrain manipulation. So I'm actually quite pleased with the choice here. But you can see that they're called painted ladies, I'm assuming, because each of the houses, they're quite bright, they're colourful, but they're all different colours. And what's really nice about these is that the structure is pretty much the same, but what I decided to do, and as per the reference image, I decided to sort of make them a little bit different from one another. So I didn't use the same windows, for example. I didn't use all the same doors on them. Like, they each have different roof textures and different chimneys and things like that, just to make it look a little bit more visually interesting. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with these. I really am. They're all partially furnished, so I would call them move-in ready. So all of the floor plans are laid out. The kitchens are decorated, as are all the bathrooms and all laundry rooms, but we'll talk a little bit more about that when we move on to the interior. But yeah, move-in ready. The last time I built some move-in ready homes, you all seemed to really enjoy them. You were all like, oh, I wish more people built move-in ready homes. So not only did I think that the sort of furnishing five houses of this size, because they don't look much at the moment, but with being, you know, each of them are 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plus garden spaces, I was like, oh, this would be quite the task. Now, obviously, the thought process here was, let's do move-in ready. That's not to say that further down the line, maybe we could have a look at furnishing them maybe on some live streams, or maybe some real-time videos, you know, some like relaxing long play or some on-camera videos. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that you want to see. Do you want to see me furnish them? If not, then we'll just leave it as it is. That's absolutely fine. But we're starting to work on the first house here. I did start with the one on the right. Not entirely sure why. I tend to work left to right, but for some reason on this particular day, I was feeling like working from right to left. So we do start working on the greenhouse here. It's not a greenhouse, the house is just green. I know you already know this, but anyway. So yeah, these houses actually, they took me a little bit longer to build than I had initially planned as well. I think I was thinking, oh, these aren't going to take long. I'll just whip them together and it'll be all fine. I think it was the interiors took a little bit of time here, and I did include all the footage. I did. Everything is included in this speed build, which I have slowed down for the last few months. I've way slowed down my speed builds, so which is why my videos are, at the moment, on average, they're at least 40-45 minutes long. This one is going to be nearing on an hour long. So I do hope that you have a beverage of some sort, a snack maybe. Would be good, and just cozy up and enjoy and listen to me ramble on for the next hour. It's going to be so much fun. So yeah, we start working on the right house here. I do start playing around with some exterior details because I was thinking, I mean, these look nice from the front, but then when you move the camera to the side, they look a little bit odd. Can you see how they're sticking out, and it's just not working? So I end up removing them completely. Some of the houses have faux, I'm going to use the term faux or false balconies on the front. Some of them have roofs. Again, keeping the sort of designs as per the houses just a little bit different, although the floor plans are pretty much the same, but the houses on either end. So this one here, and then the pink one on the left, it ends up being, oh, it is pink. I was going to say it ends up being pink, but it's already pink. This one on the right, and then the pink house. I actually end up adding a little bump out on each of those, ironically off camera. As I've just said, oh, I include everything in this speed build. Unfortunately, I sort of had this idea immediately, and I just completely forgot to press record. So that's completely my bad. But yeah, those have a slight bump out on this one on the right hand side, the pink one on the left hand side, and that allowed me to create a slightly bigger kitchen dining space. So those two have slightly different floor plans in that respect. But I believe the other ones, I'm just trying to remember because it's been, when did I build these? I think I built these at the start of the week. This video is going up on Friday. So I built these at the start of the week, and for some reason, I'm struggling just a little bit here trying to remember the floor plans for each of the builds. But what's really nice about these is that I also extended the pavement or sidewalk at the front a little bit, and I actually added these trees. There's already one down. This is from the debug menu from the Growing Together pack, because San Sequoia, the world that we're currently building in, actually came with the Growing Together pack, just in case you're not aware. Most of you probably are, but for those of you that aren't, there you go. San Sequoia is actually one of my favorite worlds. I love building in this world. When Growing Together first shipped, I did say, I believe, and have said multiple times how much I enjoy building in this world. I think that you can build different sort of architectural designs and styles in this world, and it sort of fits. But with these painted ladies' houses, I immediately thought either San Sequoia was my first choice or San Myshuno, to be fair. Now, I feel like I've just done, I say just, it was just under 2 weeks ago at this point, so I missed last week's upload. I did explain this on my posts tab. Work's been a little bit busy, I've had family events, etc. to attend to, but I have just been in San Myshuno. So I was thinking, for a little bit of a change of pace, and just to keep things interesting for me, I decided on San Sequoia. And when was the last time I built in this world? Off the top of my head, not entirely sure. I'd need to look it up. It feels to me like it's been a while. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Just say, Rachel, you actually built here not too long ago. I don't feel like that's the case, but I do love this world. You've got the kind of the cityscape in the background. You can see the water on the back here. We've got like a boat in the background as well. I felt like these houses would just look so unbelievable here. And I would have to say that they do. If I do say so myself. Now, I was actually going to make these 3-story houses initially. So the foundation, as you can see that these houses are currently set on, they're rather high. I did that intentionally because I wanted to kind of create this feeling of, as you can, I don't know if you've remembered the reference image, but you can see that they're quite elevated, these houses. And I'm assuming they're elevated because of the sort of where they're sat on the road and the terrain sort of elevation itself. That would potentially explain why these houses have such tall foundations. But I wanted to keep that mentality with the build itself, because I wanted to try and keep these as I don't know, accurate as possible, I suppose you could say. I mean, some may argue that these aren't entirely accurate and it's The Sims, so but I really did try to keep them as accurate as I could, but there are going to be some differences here and there, but that's just how we roll. That's how we roll on this channel. We use items, we use photos or pictures as inspiration, and then we kind of run with it in The Sims and try and work out what looks good, what's going to work in terms of gameplay, and then, you know, we find a happy medium. But we've already started working on the front of the yellow house, which is the middle house, and I think I pretty much kept with the I'm just looking at the reference image itself as we speak, and I pretty much kept with the same color scheme as per the reference image, so I'm quite pleased with that. We do have two blue houses, but one's a darker blue and one's a lighter blue, which I thought worked well. I think I ended up changing the siding on the house on the right, the green one, to one from base game, because this is the wallpaper from Growing Together actually, and usually I like it, but for some reason it looks a bit washed out, and I'm assuming it's because of the light. The lighting on this lot is quite harsh. It's good lighting, let me just say that now. For a builder, lighting is extremely important on a lot. Ask any person that builds in The Sims 4, they will tell you exactly the same thing. This lot is superb, it's beautiful for lighting, but the lighting is rather harsh. So what it tends to do is it tends to wash some of the colours out. Now, the green paneling from the Growing Together pack, which is the one that's currently on the house on the right hand side, it's nice, you know, but it wasn't really bright enough compared to the other houses. So I ended up switching it out from this one to the one from base game. I think it's just a base game paneling. It's a sort of a deeper, darker green, and it works just, I think, that little bit better in terms of the setup compared to how the other houses are. Not good at explaining things. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know this. I really do. I'm like this in my job as well. In real life, I try and explain things and it never comes out quite right, but give me a keyboard and I'll be able to type out whatever I need to say. But when it comes to actually physically explaining things with my voice, entirely different story, unfortunately. But then what I decided to do, I was like, okay, I'm quite happy with these stairs, so what we'll do is we'll copy and paste them and we'll put them onto all the houses. So I'm really pleased with how these look. I also use the tool mod to reduce the sizes of the trees at the front, and off camera I use the tool mod again to modify the sizes of the trees, because at the moment all the trees are the same size, but what I do is I adjust them, each tree, ever so slightly, so they're all slightly different sizes, because to me that looks a little bit more realistic. I think if you've got trees in real life that are the exact same height, yes, they could be manicured, they could be maintained by a landscaping company, but I was like, how often does that happen really? So I was like, okay, when I was taking the screenshots for the thumbnail, I was like, let's use the tool mod and just adjust them ever so slightly, and I'm actually quite pleased with how that looks. I need to start doing that a little bit more with my builds. And then I remembered that we have these windows from, which pack are these ones from on the pink house? Are they from For Rent? Or, yeah, For Rent, Lovestruck? They might be from Lovestruck actually, and they're chunky, but they're so beautiful, and they looked incredible on this pink house. So I was like, oh, we need to use them. Now, word of warning, we do end up changing the windows on the yellow house, the house on the left, which is the blue one, and also the green house. We do. I'm not sure about the powder blue house. I don't know if I changed them on that one. I don't know. I was just kind of looking at it and thinking, this just isn't looking, the windows aren't looking quite right. I knew what I was trying to get across with them, but when I stopped and had a look, I was like, no. Let's change these up just a little bit. So they do end up changing, but I hope I'm right about this, I believe I changed them on camera. What I tend to do is, again, if you've been around the channel for a while, you'll already know what I'm about to say. What I'll do is I'll start working on a build and I'll be enjoying it and everything's fine. I'll stop filming, I'll stop recording, and then I'll start taking a couple of test screenshots to see how it's coming across in-game in screenshots. If I'm happy, I'll continue, but more often than not, I'll start picking at things. So I'll go, those windows don't look right. So the ones on the yellow house at the moment, they're too dark. They're far too dark. So I end up changing them to a white swatch here for a second. And then I think I keep them, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember. Again, built these less than a week ago. My memory's shocking. I'm kind of like, I do describe myself. I don't know if I've ever said this on the channel. I always describe myself as Dory from Finding Nemo. So not always, but a lot of the time when it comes to remembering certain things, some things I'm fantastic at remembering. Other things, I just say, I'm so sorry. I'm like Dory from Finding Nemo. If I wake up and know my own name, it's a miracle. Obviously exaggerating, but that's kind of the mentality. Oh, we do end up changing them. So we do change them. And these are the ones from, I'm pretty sure these are from Love Struck. I'm trying to see the icon and it's so tiny. If I were to bet on it, I would say, yeah, Love Struck. Oh my goodness, I'm going to look so silly now if they're not. I'm pretty sure they are. But the nice thing about the yellow house is that we've got these windows with kind of like the yellow trim on them. And I just thought that was so sweet. And then when we move on to the interior, we do have, when I was setting up the kitchen, I believe we went for the yellow counters and cabinets from the base game. So I thought that was kind of nice. So that's another thing worth noting, actually. Each of the houses have their own colour schemes inside. Obviously, you are more than welcome to change that up because I just provisionally put stuff down. Again, move-in ready so that, you know, when you download these houses, you can make them your own. You feel free to decorate them as you see fit. When you download these, sorry, that sounds very presumptuous. If you download these for you and your Sims, then you will see the floor plans are all laid out. You can see where the kitchen is, the dining room, all the bathrooms. You'll see that all the bedrooms are on the top floor and things like that. So I tried to make it easy. And like I said at the beginning, so many people have said to me, you know, I really like it when you build move-in ready homes because it means that I can put my own sort of stamp on it. I can decorate them as I would like to for my Sims families and things like that. So every once in a while I do enjoy doing these, especially like I said at the beginning, when you've got 5 entire houses to decorate. Like this video would have been 3 hours long, easy, and that's sped up. This video would have easily been probably over 3 hours long if I had have decorated each and every one of these houses top to bottom. And it would have taken me weeks to finish these. I actually completed these over I think I built them over a couple of days. And it wasn't necessarily because I didn't have the time. It was more because, you know, real life stuff just doesn't, I don't want to say it gets in the way, but real life stuff just kind of happens and then you've got to sort of intertwine your gaming time and content creation stuff in between real life, right? You know, work and family stuff and everything else. So it took me a few days to finish these. It'd have been weeks. If I'd have had to finish all these, it would have been weeks. I'm telling you now, if anyone comments down below and says, no, Rachel, you really should decorate these. If we do it on live streams, because I've said this before and I'll say it again, live streams are returning to the channel. I got into the groove of doing live streams. I think we were doing them once a week, if not twice a week at one point. At minimum, we were doing once a week. And then I just stopped. I do know why. I absolutely know why. I ended up getting a promotion at the back end of last year, September last year. And I actually primarily, and when I say primarily, I mean like 95% of the time, I'm at home. I work from home. I'm very blessed. And for some reason, I have my own office in my house. We're about to go on a bit of a rant here. Not a rant, more like a side quest. Let's call it a side quest. I have my own office and I have a desk set up for my content creation and I have a separate desk in the same office set up for my work from home job. My corporate job, as it were, because I work in corporate for a company. And for some reason, I'll clock off. And instead of, this is what I was doing before I got promoted. I was commuting, let's say on average, an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. But for some reason, I think because I'm physically leaving a place of work and then I'm coming home, I was able to kind of separate my work from my content creation. I think since I got this job, and I love it, I do, this job was almost made for me, straight up. I do struggle separating. I think because I'm working in the same room, I kind of think, well, I'm done for the day now. Instead of kind of scooting over to my other desk, I think, oh, let's crack on and do some sim stuff and this, that, and the other, which sometimes I do. I do sometimes do that, because if I didn't do it, I wouldn't get any content out whatsoever. Let me make that perfectly clear. I do find it difficult sometimes to separate the two. And I'm like, I just need to go and decompress for a bit. And then before you know it, it's 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, well, now I'm tired and I want to go to bed. So that was my side quest, my side rant. I'm trying to get a little bit better. But what I need to do is I need to get myself into a routine. And my plan is I want to wake up. I want to do a workout at home. I want to grab some breakfast, prep my lunch, start work, maybe on my lunch break, because I get an hour's lunch break. I can do a little bit of building in The Sims or whatever I need to do. And then, 1 or 2 nights a week, I clock off work at 5, and then I go live at, say, 7 o'clock, 7:30. I've had my tea, I've had my meal, my evening meal, and then I go live at 7ish. Until 9, 9:30, 10, whatever the case is. So I need to get myself into a routine. It's not that I don't have the time, because I do. I do have the time. There's no point lying about it. I have the time. It's just trying to adjust. I mean, it's September last year. It's now July of the following year. You'd think, how have you not adjusted already? I'm trying. I'm really trying to adjust. Sometimes I have to travel for this job. Sometimes I'm traveling to London, which is down south. I don't live anywhere near London. For anyone that can maybe hear my accent, I don't live anywhere near London. I'm traveling to stores for visits and things like that. Traveling to clients for meetings and things like that. So I'm just trying to find the best way to balance everything, because I don't want to go anywhere in terms of content creation. I love it far too much. I love the community that we've built here. I love doing what I'm doing. And I want to be able to carve out some time to actually spend time with you all in real time on live streams, have a catch up, even if I've got The Sims open and we chat for half an hour and then build for an hour and then chat for half an hour. I really enjoyed it while I was doing it. I did. So my point is, the long and short of it is, I want to get into it again because I miss it. I miss all of you. I miss talking to you all in real time. And I've also been thinking about, because we were going live on YouTube, do I do one YouTube live stream a week and then one live stream on Twitch a week? Because I used to go live on Twitch. I mean, this is years ago. And I mean years ago at this point. At least 5, no, it's been longer than that. Maybe 6 years ago I was going live on Twitch on a weekly basis. So let me know in the comments down below, what would you want to see? And also in terms of content, what do you want to see more of? I know that real-time building has been up on the top of most people's list, and I hear you, I see you, and that's definitely the plan. But sometimes it's slightly easier when I'm on my lunch break at work for me to just hop on in-game, build something without having to worry about commentary, and then come away after the hour and then kind of do that on a few different days. And then suddenly I've got 3 or 4 hours worth of footage, and then I can edit it at the back end of the week and then have a video up. So again, trying to balance that time, trying to work out what I want to do. I want to do more real-time stuff. I want to do more relaxing long play, because it's been a couple of months now since my last one, and those videos were doing really well. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I know that a lot of you enjoyed them. I'm talking like 2 hours plus long videos, some of them 2.5 hours, and people loved them. People were telling me, I put this on in the background, and like, no disrespect, but I was falling asleep to it. That's the highest honor for me, because that means you've reached like peak relaxation while you're listening to me talk. So yeah, there's plans. I always feel like I'm saying on the channel, oh, there's plans to do this, that, and the other. And I just need you to know that I'm genuinely trying. I genuinely try and take people's feedback on board, and I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be someone that you want to watch. and someone that you want to listen to, and I'm trying. That's all I can really say on it. So yeah, live streams will be returning. I don't know why I'm deciding to do this in the sort of middle of a UK summer, although I would like to report, I don't think I've announced this on the channel, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Don't think for a second as if she's actually announcing that, because people who have been around here for a while will know how much of a big deal this is. I have indeed finally invested in a unit for my office to keep me cool. Can I hear a round of applause? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I actually what am I saying? Yes, I have. I've invested in a unit. It's slightly on the noisy side. So what I would actually like to do is perhaps again, when we start live streaming again, I could have it next to me, because I have a Shure microphone. It's a nice, beautiful microphone that I invested in a couple of years ago at this point. It's stunning. I love it so much. And I believe it's noise cancelling. So what'd be interesting is during a live stream, if I have it on, and then you can tell me if you can hear it, because if you can't, and I can stay cool during a live stream, you can have me for 4 or 5 hours. Like I'd be more than happy to sit in this office during the summertime and stream for 3 or 4 or 5 hours. For those of you that aren't aware too, I live in a 3-story house. My office is on the top floor. As we all know, heat rises. So UK summers, our houses are built to keep heat in. Keep the heat in, not let the heat out. So in autumn and winter, happy days. Most of the time in the UK, we have rainy, cooler weather. Fantastic. But when we are in the middle of a heat wave, and I can't open the window because the air outside is hotter than the air inside most of the time, you know, I'm on the top floor in my office with my PC on, monitors on, lights on, everything. It becomes very, very hot very, very quickly. So now that I have this lovely unit, which isn't on at the moment, by the way, there's no need for it to be on right now. Yeah, maybe I can be a little bit more comfortable during the summertime, which is amazing. I've been talking about getting one for quite some time, and then I think the push that I was given was that, again, now that I work from home and I use my office on a mostly daily basis, I needed to invest in something that was going to keep me comfortable, going to keep me cool. And yeah, I absolutely love it. Easily one of the best things I've ever bought for myself. Genuinely. My husband keeps looking at me and saying, should we get another one for the bedroom and maybe his office outside? He has an office outside, by the way. So we used to share an office. We actually used to share this office. And then, bless him, he was like, oh, well, you know, you can't really film for YouTube when I'm sat in the background and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to build an office at the end of the garden and you can have that room. I was like, okay, bye-bye then. Bless him. Best husband ever, honestly. But his office is so nice. His office could definitely do with one because it's insulated out there. It's, again, a sweatbox in the summer. Lovely. Well, actually, it gets kind of cold out there in the winter, but he does have a fire out there, which is kind of nice. An electric fire. Beautiful. But anyway, I don't think anyone cares about that. So let's talk about these houses a little bit more. We're now working on the back of the homes. As you can see, the gardens are laid out. The houses on either end, so the greenhouse, I keep calling it the greenhouse and people are going to be like, Rachel, that's not a greenhouse. The house that is green, I should say, the house that is green and the pink house on the right, they have slightly bigger gardens just because of the space allowed on the lot itself. I think they work quite well. And as you can see, the siding from the base game, that darker green, I personally think it looks a lot better paired with, I forgot to mention that I changed the windows on this house, and also, which other house did I change it on? Is it the pink one? We'll have to see when we go back to the front. I'm not entirely sure, but I think these windows look a lot better. As I said, they are just from base game, but I think they look a little bit more detailed. Oh, it's the blue house. Yeah, sorry. So the pink house has the windows from Lovestruck, right? Lovestruck? Yes. Along with the yellow house and the powder blue house, but the darker blue house and the house that is green I did end up using windows from the base game. I just think they're a little bit more detailed, and actually what I was able to do was change the swatch of the windows to match the swatch of the paneling that we went with. I think overall it just looks a little bit better. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below what you think. I think one of my biggest struggles when building in The Sims 4 is deciding on color schemes. I mean, these are like the major entities of building, right? The color schemes, the windows, like and I mean like the style of the windows, the window placement. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I actually struggle building in this game. Which sounds weird to say out loud because it's something that I do so much, but sometimes I really do struggle, and it's nothing against the building mechanics of the game itself. It's definitely more of a me issue, more of a skill issue. I often feel like, does anyone else feel like this? Do they ever feel like when they've completed a build, you just think, well, that was lucky. Pure luck was on my side there. Does anyone else feel that way, or is that cannot just be me? It can't. I refuse to believe it's just me. But yeah, 99% of the time I will finish a build and go, that's pure luck. That just came together with no real. I don't know what the word. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Shut up, Rachel. Anyway, no one cares. I ended up trying to put some roof detailing on the back, and it just wasn't looking quite right, so I ended up removing that. And what's really nice about these actually is that each house, obviously as you can see, has its own back quote-unquote sort of deck space that leads down to the garden. And what I ended up doing is this house, I don't know whether I've mentioned this or not, but each of the lot is set up as a residential lot, so there are 5 units. So in terms of gameplay, you can move 5 different families in here, and all of the areas they're already marked for you. I didn't upload these as just a regular residential lot because I didn't want you all to have to move into these houses and then try and navigate all that yourselves, because that's not fair. So that's already been done, and each of the units have been separated out. So I included everything, so the entirety of the houses, and then also the back deck, the front porch, and everything in between. The gardens, I found it a bit strange, and I do get it to a certain extent, because the gardens are separated by fences rather than walls, like in-game walls. But for some reason, the game still doesn't pick up that the garden is its own space, which I find extremely frustrating. And I honestly thought that by now that would have been fixed in game. It would have been patched, because for me with rental lots, I'm not going to fence in a back garden space with a wall. Like that's just not going to happen. So I'm not entirely sure if if it's me not doing something correctly, or if it's simply an oversight on the team's part where they don't include back garden spaces. I mean, it's not too much of an issue to be completely honest, because all of the gardens are completely enclosed. If you noticed in the last sort of couple of minutes, I ended up adding, I added and then removed garden gates from the end houses, so the house that's green and the house that's pink, not the greenhouse. I did initially have gates there, but then that would have just been another layer of, I've got to lock them so that if I do have 5 families living here, it stops other families just using the garden space. So the beauty with this is that now that I've removed the gates, is that those spaces are completely enclosed and will only be used by the families that live in each of the houses. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, floor planning is going really well, and each of the houses has a slightly different floor plan, as I was explaining, I think at the beginning and also in the middle of the video, to be fair. So, and again, I do keep in the footage where I partially decorate them as well, and each of the houses has its own colour scheme as per the exterior colour scheme, which I thought was such a cute idea. Again, if you want to change it, if you're thinking, okay, thanks for letting me know where each of the rooms are, but I'm changing this completely, I get it. I wasn't necessarily decorating them in I don't know what I'm trying to say here, with the thought of, oh, people are just gonna keep this stuff. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, doesn't matter. So floor planning's done, and then we very briefly move on to the exterior of the house, and we just add a little bit more landscaping here. And what I end up doing is I end up putting these big like flower bushes from the base game in front of each of the houses. I size them up by 2 using the shift open bracket key. And I use different colours depending on the colour of the house, which I thought was it's again really nice, because obviously we've done that with the interior, so I thought we could do that a little bit with the exterior and just keep it really fun. And then I also add some more detailing out here, because as I was taking my test screenshots, which we've spoken about at the beginning, so I'm not going to try and explain it again. As I was taking my test screenshots, I was looking and thinking there's just something missing here. So I do end up adding a little bit more to the landscaping, and I think it just makes the houses look a little bit more polished, a little bit more finished, and overall I'm pleased with how they look. You can see the little bump outs on the pink house and the house on the right, the house that is green. I have added them on here again off camera, because I was thinking, oh, I feel like they're missing something, and for some reason I got that excited to add them, I completely forgot to press record. But it's literally a bump out that's one by, you know, a few squares. You didn't miss out on much, trust me, and you'll see them a little bit more when we move on to the partial furnishing of the interior as well, so don't panic. You'll see them, I'll point them out as we go through. But yeah, I also end up using a bit of debug from the Growing Together pack itself, because I've spoken about this on the channel, and I'm sure this is something, in fact, I'm positive, absolutely positive, that this is something a lot of other builders do. When you look at the surrounding landscaping, can you see how, like, I've used some of the same landscaping on these houses, as you can see in the surrounding landscaping, to try and make them look like they belong in this world on this lot. I do that a lot with my builds in general. Every once in a while I'll throw a bit of a curveball, and I'll be like, I didn't use any landscaping in the surrounding area, but somehow I still manage, I think, to make the builds look like they fit within the world that I'm building in. That's always something that I'm very conscious of. I always want to make sure that, you know, the houses that I'm building in the worlds that I'm building them in, they fit. There's nothing worse than building something and you're like, that just does not look right there whatsoever. So I'll try and avoid it. I also add a couple of benches out here. Each house has an external bin. I don't think I'm getting enough kudos for this, by the way, because this is something that I often overlook. I often forget to add external bins, and I'm trying to make an effort at the moment to remember to do this. We've also got a couple of benches as well, because I was thinking, again, it's more of an extension of the pavement / sidewalk at the front, so I thought adding a couple of benches there would be a nice touch. And yeah, the landscaping is pretty minimal. I think that the houses themselves look really nice just as they are, so the landscaping just needed to add that little bit more detailing to them and just finish it off like the cherry on top, as it were, which I think we've pretty much got here. Then I have a quick sift through the debug menu here just to see if there's anything that I could put out front. And then what I thought is we could add these are not from debug, by the way, these are from the For Rent pack, so these are for sale signs, and I thought I could add them on a couple of the houses so that it kind of looks like 2 of them are for sale, the other ones are occupied. I don't know, maybe these are newly built houses, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't really give it too much thought. I also didn't give too much thought as to what sort of families were living in here. I tend to give a lot of thought to those houses that I'm cluttering up a lot, whereas these particular houses, obviously they're just move-in ready, so I just wanted to put the bare bones down so that you guys can kind of come in and put your own flair on it, put your own stamp on it, decide which of your sim families, if you do download these, you'd like to move in here. And it just gives you as a player that creative freedom as well. So yeah, I didn't really give too much thought. Obviously I was thinking they're more sort of designed for families, with them being 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. However, if you've got a young couple living here, if you've got a sim with pets or a single sim, students, like, you could pretty much do whatever you would like with these, and that's the beauty of them. They're very versatile, they're flexible, and yeah, I'd love to hear and see what your plans are for these houses. I love it when people tell me, oh Rachel, I've downloaded these and my sim family, I'd say this all the time, my sim families have moved in and this is the dynamic, and oh, I've got a plan for these, and I've made a family to live in these houses. Like, I love that stuff, I genuinely do. So let me know in the comments down below if you don't have to, by by the way. That sounded like a demand. It wasn't a demand, I promise. But yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments down below if you do plan on using these houses and how you're going to use them. I love it. I genuinely love reading through your comments anyway, but yeah, those are some of my favorite comments to read. But there's not too much more to add to the landscaping, and then we do move on to the interior where we start partially decorating these houses. I was very aware to try and keep I think I've already mentioned this, but the external color scheme sort of, linked to the internal color scheme. I don't know what word I was trying to search for there, but linked wasn't the word, but that's the word that we're going to go with. So yeah, I wanted to try and keep, we do the pink house first. So this is what I mean. So when we were building the exteriors, we were working from right to left, and now we're working from left to right. You see how my brain works? That's odd, right? Can we all agree? Anyway, the floor plan's already done. So I knew that I wanted to have the living rooms at the front of all the houses because it just made sense with those lovely bay windows. And for me, I think it makes more sense. I know that you'll see houses even in real life where the kitchens are at the front. That's absolutely fine. That wasn't my vision or my plan with these particular houses. I wanted to have the living rooms at the front, the kitchen dining spaces at the back. And then obviously I wanted to also have and make sure that each of the houses had a downstairs bathroom, even if it was a half bath, with just a toilet and a sink, which do some of them have? I know they all have washer and dryers. What on earth? How can I not say dryers? They all have washers and dryers. Again, if laundry isn't something that you're interested in, feel free to remove them. If laundry isn't a pack that you have, that's also fine. When you download these, you just won't have the washer and dryers. You're not missing out on anything, trust me. As much as I love doing mundane tasks when I'm playing The Sims, not everyone likes that, which is absolutely fine. But it seems to me that I forget a lot of the time that we have washers and dryers. So I thought this is just a good opportunity for me to use them in these builds. But it's really no big deal. If you want to use them, you can. If not, that's perfectly fine as well. So yeah, this is the first house. It's airy, it's bright. As you can see, I did use base game cabinets and counters, as well as bar stools as well. And I also end up placing a dining room table in each of the houses too, because I didn't want you to get too confused in terms of how the houses are set up. Obviously, I think... I'm not thinking you stupid, by the way. Not at all. Not for 1 second do I think that. But I was more thinking, well, look at this big open space. You might get a little bit confused as to what my plan was with this. So I do add base game dining tables and dining chairs just to illustrate where I imagined a dining room table would be. Obviously, again, if that's not something that you're interested in, because there are already bar stools in each of the builds, that's fine. Turn that space into whatever you like. You might download these houses unfurnished, which is an option through the gallery, through the Sims 4 gallery. You might decide to download them unfurnished and then just put your own stamp on them completely. You might completely change how these houses are laid out. You might have the living room and the kitchen on the top floor, which is cool. Like that's good as well. So it just depends how you want to do it. Some of you might want to turn these into apartments. I don't know. That would be a cool idea as well. You are free to do whatever you would like with my builds. I've always said this, but just don't re-upload them and claim those your own. That's it. That's the only thing I ask. I don't think that's too much to ask. But yes, the first house I think is done. Is it done? No, it's not. It's not done. We're doing the top bathroom. The bathrooms on the top floor of each of the houses are pretty much the same. So you're going to be seeing a lot of repetition here, which is fine. That's to be expected when you are partially furnishing and laying out floor plans for five houses which are pretty much one and the same is what I was trying to say. But yes, I'm getting weary. Look, it's been a long voiceover and I'm out of practice. I keep saying this. I always say when I'm doing a long voiceover that I'm out of practice, but I'm not doing too bad. 44 minutes in, we've got 56 minutes. So we're good. We've got 12 minutes to go. There's still plenty to chat about. Is there really? Yes. Of course there is. There's always stuff to chat about. We've already moved on to the second house. Again, trying to change up the colour scheme a little bit here. So we do end up going a little bit darker in this house. Darker wood flooring, darker kitchen. I think this is the darker blue house. of the two blue houses. So yes, wanted to just do something a little bit different, and again, it's laid out completely differently too. So this is one of the skinnier houses, but for some reason, no, the kitchen dining space isn't bigger. Like I was just about to say, for some reason this space feels bigger. No, it's not. No, it doesn't. Why am I lying? It's still a really good size though. But one thing to note is that I did use the cooker from the Cool Kitchen stuff pack, which is the stuff pack that's been around for many, many years. And it's one of my favorite cookers. So whilst I used base game counters and cabinets, bar stools, dining tables, etc., the fridge is also a base game. For some reason, I was like, no, I'm not going to use a base game cooker. So if you don't have that pack, if there's a gap, then that is where the cooker goes. Just to let you know, it's no big deal. And so funny thing, actually, whenever I upload my houses or apartments to the gallery, there's two packs that the game doesn't think I own. One of them's Cool Kitchen. No, one of them is the Crystal Creations pack, and one of them it's either Cool Kitchen or the Home Chef Hustle stuff pack. And it's really funny. It's obviously a glitch because I do own said packs, but yeah, the gallery is convinced that I do not own those packs, even though I am uploading builds to the gallery using those packs. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else is having that problem. Speaking of problems, is anyone having the issue whereby we've just had a patch been released for The Sims 4 base game, and it looks like a lot of players are experiencing issues with roofing with a lot of their builds, particularly builds with foundations. Now, I wanted to see if I was one of these players. Now, I'm going to say this hesitantly, or with some hesitation. Hesitantly is not even a word. I'm going to say this with hesitation. Come on, Rachel, you can speak English. I'm going to say this with hesitation because I don't want to, open my game over the weekend and then suddenly I have the problem. I wanted to open my game and just see if I was going to have this problem. Now, initially it looks like no. Initially it looks like I loaded into this build because I thought, well, if there's going to be a problem, it's going to be with a build like this. We've got 5 houses on one lot. The foundations are super, super tall. So if there's going to be a problem, it's going to be with this particular build. It doesn't look like I have a problem, but it looks like a lot of players are having issues whereby the roofs of their builds they're just not there. Even though they're there, they're not showing. Now, it also looks like this isn't going to be patched for another 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Are we serious right now? So is anyone else having that problem? I don't know whether I just got lucky with this build. I'll have to try and see if I were to try and build something fresh, am I going to have that problem? So I loaded into a pre-existing lot, i.e. this one, no issues. But if I were to start building a new one, put the foundation on, put the roof on, are we going to have problems? I really, really hope not. It's such a stupid bug. Seriously, it's so stupid. And for people that build in The Sims on a daily, weekly, whatever basis, 3 weeks is an awfully long time to wait for a patch or a fix. So that says to me that it's a big problem, and they don't really, they probably know how to fix it, but they're trying to work out the logistics of what that looks like. So yeah, do any of you have that problem? If so, my heart goes out to you, it genuinely does. I shall report back, I shall let you know, probably on my posts tab on YouTube, Instagram stories, whatever. But yeah, at the moment, it's looking like I'm okay. But yeah, extremely frustrating, and it just seems like a really silly glitch to me. But I digress. We're now working on the 3rd house. We're already over halfway through. Again, going with a different colour scheme for this house as well. Going for a lighter colour scheme, just like we did with the first one. Although we went for like lighter wooden sort of looking cabinets for the first one, and this one we went completely white because I think this is the yellow house. So this one's really funny actually, because I could have sworn I put down yellow cabinets and counters in that kitchen. I could have sworn I did. I know I put a yellow washer and dryer in here, which I thought was fun. We also add a yellow robe to to the upstairs bathroom, because if you notice, if you download these, or if you're just watching this video, all the robes, like the dressing gowns / robes on the top floor of the bathrooms are all color coded to whatever color the house is. So the first one's pink, then it's blue, then it's yellow, then we go, I think, white, and then we go green. I just wanted to keep everything color coded. It was so cute. But yeah, we're pretty much doing the same thing as what we've been doing with the previous builds. We're just copy and pasting stuff, eyedropping stuff, making sure that we stick with the color schemes. You might also notice, if you've got a keen eye, there are a couple of cars parked out front, one of which is base game, which is a soft top little silver car there. The other one is a taxi, I believe, from Lovestruck. I believe it could be from For Rent, but my gut feeling is it's from Lovestruck. I don't know. I just thought they were a nice detail, and every once in a while, because I don't forget I've got the tool mod installed, because I often use it to just size down or size up items ever so slightly. But I often forget that I can use the tool mod to move items off the grid too, to just add a little bit of realism. I think I need to get a little bit more confident with that, because one thing I would absolutely love to do, and one thing that I've got in the back of my mind and have had for the longest time, is to start a long running series on the channel of relaxing long play videos where we restart each of the worlds. So we bulldoze all the lots, we go in, we rebuild, and we use the tool mod to modify the map a little bit. So putting cars outside, extra trees, extra foliage, bushes, flowers, details. There's so many people that have done it and have done it well, that they've genuinely inspired me to do something similar. And I think a relaxing long play series is kind of the perfect place to do that, really. And I think that'd be really nice. Again, we can just kind of chill out together and build, really. And not only build, but use the tool mod to, again, modify the maps and make things look a little bit more interesting, because it looks to me like we're pretty much done with new content for The Sims 4, and so I'm trying to find ways to really maximize what I've got, what we've got, and keep things fun and fresh on the channel too. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, if you're still here. Oh, this is I keep forgetting to do this because people keep saying it to me. We play a game on the channel where I'll say like random points in a voiceover, usually quite near the end, just to see how many people have actually made it this far. If you've made it this far, comment I'm trying to think of an emoji. Let's do the palm tree emoji because it's summer. Palm tree emoji. If you're still here, drop me a palm tree emoji in the comments below. I really appreciate it. I often think that people listen to me for maybe a push 5 minutes, then they go, I'm fine, thanks, I don't want to hear any more. But the amount of people that genuinely listen to me right up until the end of my videos, especially over the last few months where I've reduced the speed of my footage, so my videos they're a lot longer, and I so appreciate, let's ignore my throat gargle. If anyone's wearing headphones, you did not hear that. No, you didn't. I'm not editing it out. This is real life, okay? I took a swig of my water before I restarted like this part of the voiceover, and my throat gargled. Merry Christmas, you're welcome. I'm kidding. But yeah, the amount of people that genuinely stay until almost the very, very end, it really does mean the world to me. And especially when my videos have been that much longer. I'm talking like at least 2 or 3 times longer than they have been. And everyone's like, not everyone, but a lot of people comment the emoji that I've said. And I'm like, really? You've stayed that long to listen to me talk absolute nonsense for an hour? I see you. I appreciate you. You are angels. Honestly, thank you so, so much. But yes, this is the last house, the house that is green. I'm gonna stop calling it the greenhouse. So the kitchen's green, and it look, you'll see me, I keep going over to the other houses. I'm like, how did I lay this out? What's going on? So for a little while there, it takes me a bit of time to try and work out how I want to lay this out, but it's okay. I had simply forgotten how I'd laid the first house out. You've got to remember, I'd done 3 houses in between. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 3 houses in between. I had to count them. So I had forgotten. Again, Dory from Finding Nemo coming through there. The kitchen's green, as you can see, to match the green exterior. So I thought that was kind of fun. And yeah, I wanted each of the houses to kind of have their own character, their own identity, whilst still maintaining this sort of unity as well. Does that make any sense? Probably not, because again, not the best at explaining things, but that's okay. And the downstairs bathroom of these houses on the left and the right, they're huge, which is why we put laundry in here as well. So if you don't have laundry, then you can really sort of maximize that space and do what you need to do with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, really. So thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed this, and if you would like to download these houses from the gallery, they are available right now under my EAID, which is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked in the description box just down below. You can get them for free from SimFileShare. But thank you so much everyone for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you all again next time. Bye.